So hello, happy Tuesday. So today for Tuesday training, I want to talk to you about goals. And I think this is a really important topic, especially because, we're still, here we are, what is this, like the third or fourth week of the new year? And hopefully you set big goals and we want to work to achieve them. So I want to give you some strategies to make sure you achieve your goals. So you have to have goals. Like if you don't have a goal, like you start a business, if you don't have a goal, it's like you're just shooting in the dark. If you have no target, you can't possibly hit, right? You wouldn't expect to hit a target if there wasn't one. And so you have to have goals in your business, and you need a roadmap to achieve those goals. So that's great if you have a goal, but then what is your plan to achieve it? And all too often I see people who, they set these big goals year after year, and their plan is to keep doing what they've always done, which hasn't worked. There has to be a plan to achieve those goals, right? You wouldn't get in your car and say, okay, I'm going to drive from New Jersey to California. No, I don't have navigation. I have no roadmap. I'm just going to figure it out. No, you need to know step by step what to do. And so that's what I want to talk to you a little bit about today. So when you're setting goals, it's important to be honest with yourself. And I think that, at least I know this is what I did. When I started network marketing, I set these really tiny goals, right? The reality was I wanted something big, but I was afraid to say it. I was afraid to put it out there. So let me know if you can relate to this. I think a lot of times we're afraid to put that big scary goal out there because it's oh my gosh, what if I fail? And our fears get in the way. So we set these smaller goals, right? For me, I was I just want to make $200 a month. That would be great. Because if I don't hit that, who cares? It's oh well, mommy doesn't get to go shopping this month. There's no sweat off my back if I miss it. It's easy to walk away from. It's easy to say, I didn't want it that bad. But if you put that big scary goal out there, I want time freedom, I want financial freedom, I want to be able to take my kids to lunch in the middle of the day and not have to ask a boss for time off, that's scary because you're putting it out there that you want something big and scary. And there's a risk you're not going to get it. There's a risk you're going to fail, right? So be honest with yourself. What is the big goal? And write it down and be honest. Yes, we're going to have, smaller steps to get there, but put it out there. Don't minimize your goals because of your fears, because that's what it is. So many people join network marketing and they're so excited and they have this big vision of, I'm going to leave my full-time job, I'm going to be home with my kids, or I'm going to work part-time, or I'm going to help support my family, or they have these big goals and they minimize them and they say, well, I really don't want it that much, because it gets scary and it gets hard, right? So don't do that. Set your goals and then let's work hard to achieve them, okay? So I like to start with the big year goal, which I think it's perfect timing. It's 2020, right? So what is your goal for 2020? And the thing is too, it can't just be, I want more money, for time freedom. You want to envision, it's not about the money. It's about the life that the money's going to give you. It's about the time freedom, the financial freedom. Envision your life, feel it, because it takes on a whole new world, right? That's why vision boards are huge. And I am such a big fan. I'm literally about to work on my 4th vision board. I've made 3 and they came to fruition, all of them. So make a vision board. Envision your life when you achieve the goals that you want. It's very powerful and it's important to look at that every day, all right? So start with your annual goal. What is the big goal you want for the year 2020? And then you can break it down into quarterly goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and daily goals. And if you guys know me, I talk about income producing activity all the time. But because it's what drives your business. What activity do you need to do every single day to achieve that year-end goal? And all too often, again, I see people, they have this big goal for the year, but then they have no roadmap to get there. And at the end of the year, they're God, I don't know why I didn't hit my goal. Did you do what you needed to do to achieve the goal? Did you even know what you needed to do to achieve the goal? Right? So you need to know what you have to do every single day to reach that goal, right? So you guys know my background is in nutrition, right? Someone wouldn't just come into my office and say I want to lose, 20 pounds. And I'd be okay, we're going to eat this, and this. No, there was an exact roadmap. I had to figure out the exact caloric deficit they had to be in every single day, right? How many calories do we have to cut out of your diet? How many extra calories do we have to burn in exercise? Then I can have a roadmap and say, this is exactly when you should reach your goal. It's an exact science. It's the same in network marketing. What do you have to do every single day to achieve that goal? It's not enough to just say, I want to get a promotion. I want to sign a consultant. I want to add a new customer. Like, you need to have specific goals, and then you need to have an exact roadmap every day to get there. Does that make sense? Give me like a thumbs up or something if you're with me here. Okay. The other thing is, you don't have control over the outcomes. You don't know when someone's going to join your team. You don't know when you're going to get a new customer, right? You just don't know. Sometimes you're doing everything right and things don't happen. And sometimes you get surprises and things happen. But what you do have control over is what you do every single day. So I always tell people, focus on the activity, not the outcomes. Because a lot of times if all you're focused on is the outcome, it's very easy to get frustrated and discouraged. And again, we'll go back to my weight loss days, right? There might be weeks where you're just bloated, right? Women, we know there's certain times of the month we're bloated, or you ate, some salty food and you're retaining water, or it's very humid out, you're retaining water. And maybe you did everything right, but the scale doesn't show it. And now you're frustrated and you're like, well, I might as well just eat everything in my kitchen because it didn't work anyway. But if your goal is, I'm going to eat this and I'm going to do this for exercise, you've succeeded. You did what you're supposed to do. Eventually, you're going to get the results. Does that make sense? It's the same thing in network marketing. Don't make your goal, I'm going to sign a consultant this month. I'm going to grow my team this month. Your goal needs to be, I'm going to add X number of people to my network today. I'm going to reach out to this many people today. I'm going to follow up with this many people today, because you have control over that. And when you do it, pat yourself on the back. You did what you were supposed to do. You did the activity that drives the end results. Now, you might not see the results right away, but if you keep doing that activity every single day, you're going to get the results you want. Does that make sense? And now you're not discouraged. You're celebrating your wins. You're like, wow, I did it today. Wow, I did all the work I was supposed to do this entire week. Instead of being like, reached out to somebody and nobody's getting back to me and I didn't sign anybody, and then it's like you're frustrated and you just want to quit, right? Focus on what you can control. And that's your income producing activity. Okay. So you need to have the exact roadmap. Like, I was running for a really big goal with my company. It's like my first big goal. And I knew that I wanted to achieve this goal in 6 months, right? And I broke down the numbers, right? I knew how many people I needed to add to my team. But then I knew in order to add that many people to my team, how many conversations did I have to have? In order to have that many conversations, how many people did I need to reach out to? I had an exact roadmap. So all I focused on every day was, this is how many people I have to reach out to, this is how many people I have to follow up with, this is how many people I have to add to my network. And I just did that every single day. And I got the results. So to do that, you need to track your activity. Very big on tracking activity, because that's how you learn your numbers, when you track your activity. I think a lot of times people think they're doing a lot more than they really are. Let me know, raise your hand if this is you. You think you're doing a ton, but if you actually put it on paper, you're like, ooh, I didn't actually do anything that drove my business. Remember, income producing activity is the activity that drives your business. It's not scrolling social media. It's not listening to training calls, not liking and commenting on people's posts, okay, not reading a self-help book. Those are all great. Those are extracurricular. Income producing activity is the work that drives your business. It's growing your network. It's building relationships. It's reaching out to people. It's following up with people. Okay, that's income producing activity. So you've got to track it. I used to make people keep food journals in nutrition for this exact reason. People are like, no, I'm eating really good. I eat good. I'm like, okay, well, let's just write it down and see. And then they'd be like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was like, eating a bite of this and licking the spoon during dinner and cleaning up my kids' food and all those things. It's the same concept. You're not doing as much as you think you're doing. So write it down and track it. And over time, you're going to learn your numbers. You're going to see how many conversations you need to have in order to get someone to join your team. You're going to see how many people you need to reach out to in order to have those conversations. Does this make sense? Give me like a thumbs up, a heart. So let me know you guys are out there and alive. And I didn't totally lose you. But you need to track your activity, because when you're tracking it, you're going to learn your numbers, and now you can work backwards. Now you can say, okay, if my year-end goal is to grow my front line of people on my team by X, I know I have to do, I have to reach out to this many people, and it's going to be this huge number. But then you break it down, and daily it's probably going to be like 10 reach outs a day. It becomes very doable. All right, but you need to know those numbers. So track your activity. It's going to let you see exactly what you're doing every single day. Okay, and you'll start to learn your numbers. And when I started to really, really do the work, and I tracked it and I did the work every day, I was doing nothing before. But I thought I was. When you track your activity, you start to see what you're really doing. And you'll learn your numbers, and you can work backwards and set your goals. Okay? It's really, really important. So how many people are you adding to your network? How many people are you reaching out to? How many people are you following up with? How many people are you having conversations with? Like, who are you actually sharing your business with, right? You've got to constantly be reaching out, constantly be following up, okay? It takes they used to say 8 to 12 contacts with people. Now they're saying it's even higher, right? Because things are just getting muted in the world of social media, okay? So track your activity, and then you've got to do it consistently. Because again, I think one of the biggest things that happens is people get frustrated. And I get it, right? It's like if you're eating perfectly and exercising and you're not losing the weight, you get frustrated and you're like, well, I'll just eat all the junk food, right? It's when you start to see results that you're like motivated. But just focus on that activity and cheer yourself on when you do it. If your goal is to reach out to 10 people and follow up with 10 people in a day, you go if you did it. And at the end of the week, it should be 50 and 50. Celebrate yourself. That's a win. If you keep doing that consistently, you're going to get the results. And too many people, they start and they stop and they start and they're losing the momentum, okay? You've got to do it every day consistently, okay? I think most people are pulling back just before that magic happens. It's like they're pushing, and then they get frustrated and they pull back. And it's like they were this close. And so I always tell people, when you're frustrated and you want to pull back, do twice as much. Just push ahead, do twice as much. I guarantee you things will happen, okay? And then the last thing I want to say about goals that's really important to remember is, if you set this big goal, even if you don't achieve it, I guarantee you're going to get closer than you would have if you didn't set it. Right? So don't do what I did and set the goal to make $200 a month, because if you miss it, what are you making? Right? You're probably losing money. Set the big goal. Go for it. So set your big goal, track your activity, learn your numbers, work backwards, okay, and do the work consistently every day. Focus on the activity, not the outcomes. Okay, over time, when you track your activity, you're going to learn your numbers. You're going to know exactly what you need to do to reach your goals. And now it just becomes simple math. And I love math. Because numbers tell you a ton. The other thing numbers are going to tell you, if you're tracking your activity and you're seeing that you are reaching out to a bajillion people and not one person wants to hear more information, you need to reevaluate those reach outs. What are you saying? Are you turning people off? Are you coming off as spammy? Are you not building the relationship so they're like, go away? Okay? If you're getting a lot of people on the phone to learn more and then no one's doing anything after that, are you vomiting on them on the phone? Are you giving them too much information? Are you overwhelming them? Are you making it about you, not them? When you're tracking numbers, it's going to tell you everything you need to know. I love numbers. They're awesome. All right? So start tracking your activity. Set those big goals and work backwards to what you need to do every single day to achieve those goals. Okay? And then be consistent and do it every single day. All right, you got this. If you have other questions or need help with anything, reach out to me. If you are not in my Facebook group, join my Facebook group, bit.ly Achieve Success group. I just finished a free 5-day challenge, and we're going to be doing another one in a few weeks. So be sure to join my group or find the link in my bio, and I will see you there. Have a great day.